I told myself I wouldn't go back. I've played every new Super Mario Bros. Game for a video at this point, and I told myself that was it. But god damn it, they made 5 of these games for a reason. New Super Luigi U, released in the States on June 20th, 2013, is DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U, and many claim that it's the best game of the series and could have saved the new Super subseries, but could it? I'd beg to differ. Let's take a look back at the game/DLC to see if it was actually the breath of fresh air this franchise needed, because for some strange reason, my life seems to gravitate towards New Super Mario Bros. Games on May 29th. Let's just start basic. You access New Super Luigi U from the main menu of New Super Mario Bros. U through this little button right here. The game quite literally ascends to the heavens and gives you access to 3 new save files. Like I just said, Luigi U is add-on content for New Super Mario Bros. U, but it's also its own game. No, literally, it's like also its own game. I didn't feel like shelling out $18.99 for a disc copy of DLC I own, but in celebration of the Year of Luigi, Nintendo released a physical copy in this green case. You know, for the Year of Luigi. And this isn't just some fancy re-release of New Super Mario Bros. U with the DLC bundled in. Those exist separately. This is New Super Luigi U as a standalone game, complete with its own disc, icon, main menu, and file select. So when you think about it like that, isn't it the most derivative New Super game in the series? Fight that curve! Okay, that was cheap criticism, but that was just unnecessary. Let's just say it's both depending on if you need to criticize or defend it, end of. Look at this character selection though. The original game had Luigi, Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, and Nabbit as playable characters. This re-release drops Blue Toad for Toadette, an easy mode character. She wasn't content from the original release, so we can just ignore her, fortunately, and I'll touch on Nabbit later. I just want to get into the game at this point. I'll even save you the misery of watching this damned intro cutscene for the millionth time. Feels like I've seen it a million times. What a wing warning, Acorn Plains -1, let's start playing. You know, I am so glad they put this sign up to let me know this is New Super Luigi U. I don't know what I would have done without it. Acorn Plains has actually received a little facelift since New Super Mario Bros. U. Everything feels a lot more green. Mainly because all of the red has been taken from the centre of the screen and replaced with Luigi, the main star of the show. He's the crown jewel, the absolute main draw of this DLC because of his high jump, low attraction, and his kind of weird way of standing. Fucking freak! The physics changes are probably the most unique aspect of the game, and it's one of 2 reasons people laud Luigi U as the best in the series. His high jump lets you reach places Mario quite simply couldn't and clear even further gaps as Luigi sort of frantically kicks his feet to keep his momentum going, while the low attraction can make you feel like you're playing on ice all the time. And don't get me started on when you actually play on ice, it's horrendous. Both changes are like a buff and a debuff at the same time. I actually prefer Luigi's jumping mechanics purely for the extended vertical and horizontal reach, but the traction is definitely a hindrance. But on the other hand, the entire game is designed around Luigi's physics. Every character has these traits for the purpose of the game. So it's like saying something like, having to hit precise dashes in Celeste is a hindrance to the game. Like, duh, of course it is. The precision platforming is the whole point of Celeste. Having to work around slippery and floaty physics is part of Luigi U's challenge. It throws you off slightly compared to Mario U, and I like it for that. I wouldn't have you any other way, my little low traction, weird stander, high jumper. Mwah. Luigi and the other characters are affected by the physics changes. Except meet Nabbit, a minor nuisance in New Super Mario Bros. U turned into Luigi U's easy mode. He can't use power-ups, but he can only die by falling into pits or being crushed, so by Mario standards, he's invincible. It also means that at least one person will have to fill in as easy mode when you're playing 4-player. A minor complaint, but everyone seemed to have it with New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, so here we are. And it also means that on New Super Luigi U Deluxe, you'll have to have 2 people filling in as easy mode. Do you see the problem with this re-release now? Really stupid and dumb roster changes aside, there's another main draw to New Super Luigi U. Every level is shorter, gives you a time limit of 100 seconds, and is considerably more challenging than New Super Mario Bros. U. All 80 courses have been remade from the ground up, and it's easily my favourite part of the whole game. It's designed around Luigi, it's designed around being 100 seconds long, but it doesn't feel like a time crunch. It's not necessarily a flaw. I still felt like I needed to get to the end quicker than I would a regular Mario level, but there were still complete levels in like 70 out of 100 seconds, tops. Usually 60, 50, maybe even lower. I think there was one course in the entire game where I felt truly short for time. It could have been nice to see an even harder mode that cut my timer down to just 50 seconds. No time to look for star coins, no time to think about my next move, just pure adrenaline flying through the stage as quickly as I can. I can't count many courses where the timer challenged me, but I can count plenty where the difficulty challenged me. Like, sure, a lot of that was to do with my own stupidity, but this is certainly a harder game to complete than New Super Mario Bros. U. Maybe it's not groundbreakingly hard, barring Superstar Road. At the end of the day, it's still a traditional 2D Mario, no Kaizo level challenges here. But it's hard enough for sure. And once you've cleared a few levels, you've aced your first Toad House, you've conquered your first tower, you'll begin to realize that this is flowing the same as New Super Mario Bros. U. And this is my main gripe with the entire experience. It's not like Luigi U is bad or doesn't utilize its main draws well enough, it's just that everything outside of the courses doesn't really see any change, or at least nothing of note. Like, take a look at this. I've overlaid the New Super Luigi U intro cutscene over the top of New Super Mario Bros. U's, and as you can see, it plays out the exact same! Other than Mario's trusty red cap being laid on the table, possibly in remembrance of him, who's to fucking say, Bowser rocks up, slams, throws the other three away, they hit the tree, go explore. There's no change here! For a game, a standalone game that Nintendo sold for $30 in store that's trying to give Luigi the spotlight, it's quite ironic that the entire game is just built out of the empty shell that is New Super Mario Bros. U. Like, there isn't a single change to the plot, build-up, world map, everything that is external to the levels is just NSMBU, but you're playing as Luigi. And is that really bad? I know I've just raged over it, but taking a look back at development for just a moment, Luigi U started production during the development of New Super Mario Bros. U, and their initial concept was to release course packs for Boost Rush, a side mode that sees you moving through auto-scrolling levels that speed up the more you play. When the team caught wind that the developers of New Super Mario Bros. 2 were working on course packs of the same nature for Coin Rush, they dropped their ideas and began prototyping shorter, more difficult levels in place of standard courses on the world map. Essentially, New Super Luigi U is just one big course pack. A big course pack that happened to tie in with the year of Luigi. What shitty luck. I feel so sorry for these devs because that was basically a death knell for any game attached to it. I've got to go over the year of Luigi separately at some point because oh my god, what a funny train wreck. So in that regard, I'm actually quite sympathetic because based on developer quotes and everything surrounding this game, it doesn't seem designed to be a standalone game at all. But on the other hand, come on, Nintendo, you released this as a standalone game. I get to judge it as a standalone game. Like, this is one of my gripes. I've always had a thing against the bosses in the New Super Mario Bros. Series. I think they're too repetitive in how you beat them, and far too easy to beat at that. And Luigi U makes zero effort to change them. Every boss is identical to the ones you play against in New Super Mario Bros. U, and while some late stage bosses had some high points, they were still far too easy to cheese by just... I swear to God, you can beat at least a third of the game's bosses by doing this. And by the way, this is a criticism against both New Super Mario Bros. U and Luigi U. Take a guess on how you beat the final Bowser fight. You ride Bowser Jr.'s clown cart and stomp on his head. Genuinely, unironically, you defeat every boss in this game the exact same way. It's disappointing, for sure, but sitting here and bitching about the intro cutscene being different just feels like I'm ignoring the 80 challenging courses right in front of me. It's like being served a luxurious 3-course meal, the table is all set, all perfect around you, but the soup that they give you as a side has to fly in it. Like, sure, fly in soup! But just ignore it, push it to the side, move on, stop whining, stop bitching. There's still a lot to enjoy here, regardless of how little they changed outside the courses. Like, for example, the courses. Not only for the reasons I already outlined, but it feels like every stage has at least a little more creativity in them than New Super Mario Bros. U, or just about any New Super Mario Bros. Game for that matter. Certain mechanics are meshed together to create some truly challenging platforming puzzles. I just like it, maybe it's recency bias speaking. Okay, it's definitely recency bias speaking, isn't it? But alternatively, across every course in the game, the developers slipped in a hidden Luigi for you to find, anywhere from a tiny background 8-bit Luigi to full-on Luigi statues. It's like the hidden Mickeys you can find at Disneyland, except you're far less likely to hallucinate one in place of 3 unrelated circles on a hot summer's day. It's not like a groundbreaking change, it doesn't revolutionize the way you play New Super, but it's just a nice simple Easter egg you can look at and go, yeah, I found that Luigi. Though, damn it, I've got to critique. If there was some kind of award for finding them all, that would have been great. Like an extra stage to play on Superstar Road, an extra green star in a profile. Fuck, I would have killed for an extra green star in a profile. And I think stuff like that just kind of summarizes my whole problem with calling Luigi U the best in the series. What it does well? Super cool. I can't deny that I'd love to see a fully fledged Mario game with the same kind of courses. Short, challenging, with ideas for each course that uses the game's power-ups and mechanics in unique ways. But I want to see it in a fully fledged Mario game. Luigi U, despite overhauling every course, doesn't do enough to separate itself from Mario U to really warrant a standalone release, much less being considered the best new Super game in the entire subseries. And while yes, I enjoyed it, and yes, it's definitely up there, they would have needed to do a bit more to get me to move New Super Mario Bros. Off the top spot. In short, you'll get your best New Super game shouts when you fix these damn bosses!